Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Forrest Podcast. I'm Peyton,
This is Adam.
and this is more like an intro to the show, just so you can get to know us a little bit better. And we're going to be talking about a bunch of different conversations throughout the weeks.
Like chickens and everything.
But
Just something, you never know, we might talk about it in the future.
well, yeah, I guess if there's news on chicken.
You never know, there could be.
Well, there's a shortage apparently.
Yeah, they're going on strike. They're fighting back.
I don't think there's really an actual shortage on chickens. Have you ever been to a chicken farm?
No, I haven't, but all these videos you see of chicken farms and everything, what if it's not real? Like they're protesting, they're holding up signs. We will not be slaughtered anymore for you.
What exactly are they holding the
humans.
signs up with? Their wings?
Yes.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Pretty tasty with seasoning and stuff on them.
So tell me about yourself, Adam.
Well, just depends, honestly. I'm just a typical human being. I like to play video games. I listen to music. I work a normal job. I believe in aliens, if that counts for anything. I believe in aliens. Bigfoot, I believe in him. You should too. That's about it, honestly. What about you? You tell me about yourself, Peyton.
Okay, so before I tell you about myself, so your main topic you want people to know about you is that you believe in aliens.
Yes.
Bigfoot,
Yep.
In that people should also.
Yes.
Why you think Bigfoot's
Because he believes
misunderstood?
in us too.
Well, well, good. And so you work a regular job, and where'd you grow up?
I grew up here, Bulls Gap, Tennessee. It was a tiny little town. Probably don't really know much about it. Tiny little place on the map.
How tiny are we talking?
Oh, pretty tiny.
Okay.
Like
And
you look at you zoom in on the map, you can see all these other towns, and you have to keep zooming in, then boom, there's Bulls Gap.
well, I've lived in Rogersville my whole life, and I like just about everything. Shows, mainly movies. I'm kind of a cinephile, and the one thing I'm known for is quoting a lot of shit that's one thing I feel like I'm known for is quoting a lot of shit that you'll never use.
But you never know. One
Well,
day,
yeah.
you might have to quote that. Beginning a fight, your last dying breath.
Okay, I don't know why I would
Anything.
quote anything while getting into
No,
a
I'm saying
fight.
you might quote stuff and somebody else hears it, and then all of a sudden they become a badass. When they're about to die, they're just getting in a fight, they're mic drop,
Okay.
on argument, anything like that. They had that quote, and boom, they become the hero. You never know.
But if it's from the movie, it's not original. You're basically...
But maybe they never seen it, the movie.
Well, yeah.
And maybe, you never know, maybe the quotes you tell them might get them, I like that quote. What is this off? And they Google it, and then boom, next thing you know, they watch that movie. One thing leads to another. Bada boom. So what kind of shows are you usually into?
Well, I typically watch... I grew up watching Friends for sitcoms. And like Top Gear and all that. There's a lot of shows that I just couldn't really... Like, I could get into it at first. Like, Supernatural's a good show.
Very good
But
show.
it's a good show, but I cannot finish it. It's just like it's too much.
See, the thing about like a lot of shows, it takes, you have to watch it, and they have to keep you engaged through it. Documentaries, kind of like series, stuff like that, it's a different story. But because it's something real. You look at fiction, all these fiction stories and everything like that. They have to keep you entertained.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you get into their little universe of everything and think it's fascinating, you ain't going to like it. It's like how they say, oh, what's the first few episodes? and you'll like it after the first few. The first few episodes ain't that good.
Hmm.
Usually the first few episodes is what's supposed to pull you in. And if it doesn't, then most likely you ain't going to like it later on.
That's why with like in some cases, like with some TV shows, the second season really starts to bring in people because they really realize their mistakes of the first season, so they fix it, and now they know exactly what to do thereon with the rest of the series. Now, the only thing my problem is about TV series is that's a lot of time. It's with a movie, it's like about 3 hours of your life, and there you go, move on to another movie. But unless you're talking about, like, let's say like Marvel or Star Wars or something that has like multiple movies across years.
Yeah, that's that I can't keep up with personally.
How many Star Wars movies have you seen?
Star Wars movies in general, two.
Two. Which ones?
The very first one,
The very last one.
and then the very last one. It's one of those things. Like, I don't have much time. It's either when I get home from work, either I watch a movie, play a video game, something like
Okay.
that. But most of the time, I can't do both because you try to watch a movie and then play video games, something like that. But by that time, it's already midnight, and you can't really do as much. You have to pick and choose what you want to do, which that's where, like, with TV shows, it can play because most times they're shorter. They're like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You could watch that while at work doing something, or you could do that while, you get home, watch one episode, 45 minutes or an hour long, and then be done with it.
Mm.
Yeah, at the same time, a lot of shows do their whole grabbing, like they always leave a cliffhanger, like that show The Good Place. At the end of every episode is literally just a cliffhanger to get you to watch the next episode, and usually drags people in to keep doing that, which is a good tactic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, next thing you know, you're like, I'm going to watch one episode,
Now
and the next thing you know, you look at the clock and it's 2 a.m. and you're like, well, might as well finish the season.
That's kind of like how it was with like with Netflix TV series. They drop it all at once, and you think, I see them all. I gotta finish them. That's how it was with The Ranch and Stranger Things.
That Netflix changed the game when it came to streaming and doing all the TV shows and movies and all that, which they've ramped up their movies.
Yes. Well, especially since like HBO Max came out with that movie of every single month, but I really think they're going to go away with that here soon. After this year, they're going to go back to the normal because they haven't announced any new projects for 2022.
Which, I mean, when it comes down to that part with HBO Max, they did something good trying to draw people in with the movies, plus the fact that, movie theaters was closed for the longest time, and you couldn't go watch a movie. It was a way for studios to be like, hey, we still want to release this movie, so how about we just, release on HBO Max? Yeah, we might not be making as much money, but at least we're getting at least some of our money back from what we put into the movie without having to hold off till movie theaters open back up.
That's what I like about with Paramount Plus, how for instance, how they're doing A Quiet Place Part 2 is it comes out in theaters and it comes out, I believe, on Paramount Plus, if I'm not mistaken, about 3 weeks later. So you have time to go see it because the first 3 to 4 weeks is usually the main money grabber for the movies. That's where they get their most money, is the first 3 weeks, because everyone's talking about it. Then it sort of dies down and stays in the movie theater for maybe another month or two.
I mean, yeah, like it helps besides HBO Max, where they have it on HBO Max and now on the movie theater both. But most people are probably just going to stay home and watch it on HBO Max. It's cheaper. You do a month of HBO Max.
Yeah.
Compared to having your whole family, your husband, wife, and maybe a kid or two. By the time that, you're spending $30-$40 at the movie theater.
Yeah.
When
that makes sense.
you could be paying, $14.99 and paying to see that movie, and if you want to rewatch it, you can keep rewatching it for a whole month. So they changed it, but at the same time, it kind of did hurt the movie industry when it came to movie theaters in general on that part, when they was already having a rough time from the whole pandemic and everything.
I think it was actually AMC that whenever Warner Brothers announced about their HBO Max lineup, AMC, I think it was the CEO, posted and said that they're making a big mistake by doing that. And maybe it was a big mistake for them at the time, because this was whenever they were closed. There was no movie theaters being open. So I can kind of understand why, because that's their business that they're losing. And that's a big movie company.
Oh yeah, I mean with that right there, I mean if you think about it, AMC's been around for a very, very long time. I'm not sure exactly how long, but they've been around for a long time. And the fact that they was closed and all making money, which A Quiet Place Part 2 actually helped jumpstart them getting, revenue back in, because it grossed a lot of money the first weekend.
Well, that's good,
of it
because
being open.
in your opinion, how weird was it to go back to the theaters after a year?
I mean, it was different, just because if it's like you forgot how it was at movie theater. But the one thing about it was the fact that people can go back to movie theater. Yeah, with COVID and everything, a little scary sometimes. People, they still don't want to be in a confined room with other people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you think about it, there's nothing like, you can watch movies on HBO Max or Paramount Plus or something like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually sitting at a movie theater, there's a different feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching on a big screen. You're watching it with a whole bunch of other people who's experiencing that movie for the first time, like you are. Maybe your second, third, depending on how many times you got to watch it. And with that right there, that's something that I don't think. That's why when a lot of people say that the movie industry, when it comes to movie theaters, are dying. I don't think they will.
Maybe the small ones, the one in our town.
Yeah,
but it was dying
in Rogersville. It went down the drain because nobody was really watching. And then when the pandemic hit, it really messed them up. They couldn't do nothing, and then they closed down, unfortunately. But like the bigger movie theater chains, well, that AMC. There's a really good one in Hollywood. I forgot the name of it. The AMC's actually buying now.
Oh, you talking about the Japanese theater?
I don't think so. I forgot what it was called, but it was a big popular one. The main one,
Chinese theater
in Hollywood. But AMC has actually got enough revenue where they're actually going there. They're going to actually try to buy that theater.
AMC's probably the biggest theater company out there, which all these mom and pop movie theaters, I can't really think of any of them that are like that hometown movie theaters that are still like in business, unless it's a drive-in theater. That really helped. That boosted drive-in movie theaters, and I feel like that's good in a way, because that's something that hasn't really been mainstream since like the 50s to 60s and so on and so forth.
I mean, yeah.
Probably 70s too. But it died down a lot, and to go out to a movie, even if you're in the car watching it, is still the fact that you are able to get out of the house. Mm-hmm. That's the main purpose.
And I mean, and that's one of those things when it comes down to it. That's what I think movie theaters, even in drive-in movie theaters, is going to have. They won't go down the drain because it's nothing like going out to see a movie. Yeah. Take on your first date. Take her on a date, or that's the easy thing to do when you're taking her on a date. Let's go watch a movie.
Yeah, because you're in with a movie. Honestly, you don't really talk that much. Mm-hmm. So unless you like go out to eat before, but the main purpose is like you both are focusing on something else. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of weird if you like if you want to go out to the movie, it's more of a it's like less creepy than, hey, you won't come back to my place and watch a movie. Then there's no public interaction. And
yeah, I mean, but at the same time, when it comes down to the whole thing of, you know,
okay.
Like when it comes down to the, going out, so like that, because you can do the old, little arm trick, like you're stretching and do the arm trick. You put your arm around her, making a little first move, and stuff like that. Like you said, compared to, hey, you gonna go to my place, watch a movie, when automatically they're gonna think
something completely different.
Netflix and chill, practically, something like that. So I mean,
and I can't really blame them.
Yeah.
Like most guys are pigs in it anyway.
But at the same time, like when it, when guys do want to, hey, come back to my house, I fix you some dinner, watch a movie, you go home, boom, done.
Yeah.
Type thing. A lot of people at the same time don't want to do that either, just because of the fact that
you're alone.
Because everything that happened in the past.
Yeah.
And how, they happen, oh, I go by house, oh, he's going to try to make a move on me.
Yeah.
When it could be just simple, just go out, you cook dinner, watch a movie, and that's it, type thing. Because, I mean, anybody can take a person on a date and go to
because
Applebee's.
You're not cooking for them. The only thing you're doing is just paying.
Exactly. Instead of, because it hits differently if you think about when somebody actually takes the time to cook for you, instead of actually going out and paying for food.
Yeah,
because it takes
sentimental.
time to cook food.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much time to swap your car.
Even if you're not a good cook, I believe like it's just the thought of you putting the hard work into it. Most girls would care that you at least tried, compared to, hey, we'll come over, I'll order some pizza,
Exactly.
watch a movie.
But it's like even if you make cheeseburgers and French fries,
but you're still making.
You're making the food. You're not going out here and just being like, I'm just going to order some pizza.
There's actually some people that will actually go out to like a fast food restaurant and like take all the wrapping off and put it on a plate like, hey, I just made this.
Good thing. The thing about it is it doesn't work too easily on a smaller town where you probably ate at that restaurant a few times.
You'd have to go to like maybe like Applebee's or Chili's, Texas Roadhouse or something. You cannot go to anything in like a small area because like you said, it so well.
Olive Garden, you get a family size pasta, Alfredo chicken something, then you hurry up and dump it into a pot. Boom, made it myself. You take the breadsticks, you put a little more butter on them, you put them in the oven for like 4 minutes maybe. Crisp them up and make it look like you should get back there. You take it out of the oven. Boom, look at that. Simple as that. You are good to go on that part.
But I feel like in a way you're kind of doing more work on lying about making the food than you are just to make it yourself. And that's also not a good sign. If you, like for instance, for your first date, if you lie about making food for her, then you're off to a bad start, because if you lie about something little, then you'll probably climb up that ladder and lie a little bit more.
Yeah, best thing to do is you tell the person straight up, hey, I can't cook. I'm gonna make you something. If it's horrible, I apologize in advance, but I'm gonna go ahead and get you. I'm gonna fix something. If it tastes bad, it probably was bad, and I apologize. But you forewarn them, because if you tell them, you joke with them, that's gonna be bad. If it is bad, you was joking about it, and they're gonna take it more lightly and everything, and be like, well, at least he's trying to do it. But if you say, you don't do anything, then it's bad, I'm be like, hey, this guy can't cook worth of crap. Why am I even here? But if you joke about it, you're going to joke up a little bit, and then you burn the burger, or you burn the breadsticks, or you burn the Alfredo chicken.
Just say burn everything.
You're burning everything up. You burn half the house down in the process. At least you was joking about it, and it will lighten the mood for it a little bit more.
And to everyone listening, this is exactly how it's going to go with our conversations. We're going to be talking about one thing, then a little bit of another conversation, and boom, that's the whole conversation. Because we're idiots.
And next thing you know, we'll be
We're
talking
easily
from
distracted.
chicken Alfredo, and we'll be after that talking about Bermuda Triangle. You never know. That's what's great about this podcast. It's surprising, and you'll never know where you'll end up at by the end of the show.
This is very, very true. Now, in your experience, name one thing that you've cooked for someone?
Lasagna.
Lasagna. Why lasagna?
Well, it's easy to cook. I don't make it like other people make it with cottage cheese and all that kind of stuff that people put in it. I literally, simple, and I add Doritos to it.
Doritos for what? Crunch?
Mm-hmm.
Why Doritos? Why not, like, say, tortilla chips or something?
Because well, still has a little bit of... I use Cool Ranch because Cool Ranch isn't as strong of a flavor
Then what?
than like nacho cheese and
Cool
all that.
Ranch.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cool Ranch Doritos.
Okay.
And what it is, you just take it, every layer, you crumble some up, put them on top. And then at the very top, you do it, it's going to be real crunchy. So you bite into it. It's a little crunch to it. It's not all soggy, all that kind of stuff. And the chips will actually soak up some of the sauce as well. So the sauce ain't overflowing everywhere. And then when you eat it, it's crunchy. You have that little taste of a tangy, like Cool Ranch flavor, along with the actual lasagna itself. Because usually people eat salad stuff before they, before they eat dinner or the main course.
Yeah.
And just think, Cool Ranch dressing, salad. So in return, you're making them think. So if they didn't eat the salad, boom, they already have it on their lasagna, and they don't have to worry about it. Now I just have to make up some concoction where it does their salad, your lasagna, and your dessert all in one.
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
It'll be, when it happens,
Well,
you'll be saying what when you try it, because it'll be that good. You'll be all of a sudden you'll literally you take your first bite, kind of tastes like salad. Another bite tastes like lasagna. Third one, this tastes like chocolate cake.
Okay, you have me at chocolate cake. You don't have me at lasagna. You definitely don't have me at salad.
Well, listen, you haven't tried my lasagna then.
Huh?
You haven't tried my lasagna then.
Nor will I.
You gotta give it a try.
Nope.
You can't knock it before you try it.
Yes, I can.
I mean, you can.
Then that's what I'm doing.
You can do what you want,
I know.
but doesn't mean I won't ever tie you down and force feed you lasagna.
What?
It'll be okay. We'll work out the details later on in the contract.
What?
Sign here, Peyton.
I remember, like, one time I cooked which I've never really cooked this before, which was steak. And I looked up a recipe by Gordon Ramsay, the king, over this steak on how to cook it, how you need to, like, lay it on its side and, like, cook the ends and cook in the middle. And the way she liked it very bloody, which not my thing. I don't even like steak. Actually, I've started to like it a lot more because it's something different, because I'm more of a chicken man. Goes back to the chicken.
Telling you, everything revolves around chicken nowadays.
That is very true. And corn. Don't forget about corn.
Corn, yeah. Gasoline. They feed corn to chickens.
Yeah.
Corn on the cob.
Trying to think.
Corn is everything.
I hate you.
Continue about the steak, sir. Cows eat corn.
You tell me to continue, then you talk about cows eating corn.
Continue. I just figured I'd let you know.
But, so there was, like, how you break the garlic and just cook it with it. And also there was a recipe for, like, a baked potato, and so I got the big ones because it's more to eat. So how my parents always cooked it, they cut the ends off. I don't know, it's just what
Guess help make the heat go through better.
Yeah, but there was something I watched where, for one thing, you kind of like put in olive oil, I believe, or vegetable oil. I can't really remember, but you like take a fork, you just stab a bunch of holes in it, going around the whole potato, so it all that all that air gets inside of it and cooks it on the inside without having to cut the ends and kind of like exposing it. And you like roll it in the olive oil and salt, and you put it in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Don't sound bad.
And I remember like getting the stuff for getting the materials for that day, and like she likes steak sauce, of course, most people do. So I went to the store, and I actually forgot it. So on my way to go get her, I went to the store and got it. And when I grabbed it and checked out with it, it broke. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta go!" And I went back and got another one. But whenever I was getting the glasses and the plates and all that, I couldn't buy wine because she was underage. I think, yeah, she was underage. I wasn't. I think. I don't remember. I was probably underage. Yeah, I was underage, I think. Because this was on Valentine's Day. And, like, the woman at the checkout was like, "Oh, you gonna find dine in her? She a lucky girl." And I was like... And like, "You gonna have some wine?" "You gonna have red wine?" I was like, "Yeah," which I couldn't buy it, so it was just, I wasn't gonna say, "Yes, it's sparkling cider." But I think in a way more now, cooking is a lot more of a... It's not. I never really saw cooking as a chore. It's you know what you're getting whenever you cook something, and if you cook something and you like it, then then you're like proud of yourself because, hey, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever had a girl cook for you?
Mm-hmm.
What'd she cook?
It was actually steak, to be honest.
Oh,
with
really?
you. Yes, it was actually steak.
Was it good?
Yes. It was steak, mac and cheese, and homemade mashed potatoes.
So she like peeled it and...
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And boiled it, mashed it up with butter, garlic salt, and...
Can't go wrong with garlic.
You and garlic. You'd bathe in garlic if you could.
No, that's butter. I'd bathe in butter.
You'd bathe in butter?
Yes.
That'd be a little greasy.
Sorta. I think more of the cholesterol is the problem.
But and when she made us saute, it tasted great. It was amazing and everything. Except, I mean, I like mine more bloody myself on the steak.
I don't understand that. Like, I don't. Do you like the taste of the blood of?
You really don't taste the blood per se. It's juicy.
But is it like more tough to bite into?
Mm-hmm. If there's a fine line. If you have it too raw, it's real tough. If you have it too done, then it's tough. If you do right in the middle, where it's still just a tiny bit of blood, a little pink in the middle, still on the outside is cooked. If you do it right,
yeah,
you can, tear it off with your finger and eat it, and it just dissolves in your mouth.
See, like
butter.
I do like butter. So you might have me there. But
there's a secret
what's the secret
to the steak, though?
What?
A lot of people make this mistake. When they turn a piece of steak, they always take a fork and just stab it and flip it over.
No, you don't.
You never do that. And you know what you always do as well? What my sister did, and it actually tasted good too. You turn the on, put the pan on there with some oil, butter, whatever you want to use, and you put it at a high temperature. really high temperature.
Yeah.
And you take it, you put the steak on there, you sear it on one side, then you sear it on the other side, and then you pick it up and you sear it on the edges. It secures the juice inside. And then you bake it.
Bake it?
Because when you sear it, it keeps the juices inside from coming out.
Yeah, I can
and then when you bake it, it does it on the inside and gets it to the right amount that you want. And you take it out. It's juicy.
Is this what she did?
Mm-hmm. No, that's what my sister did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my sister did. And she just literally seared all the sides, make sure no juice came out, put it in the oven. She put garlic cloves and stuff on it with butter and stuff like that on it, and then just baked it. And it came out. It looked just like if you cooked it in a pan.
So whenever your sister cooked this, was this after that girl cooked it for you, or was it
before?
Before. Okay, so did you when was you there when she was cooking it?
Mm-hmm.
So was you critiquing her? Like, no, that's not how you cook steak.
No, I was there, but I was more like I didn't want to say, hey, you're doing this wrong, because she'd done it with a fork and just flipped it over and stuff like that. But
no, lady.
But at the same time, I didn't want to do it, because if when I do that, it's gonna be like, it kind of ruins it. Like,
yeah.
She wants to cook for me. I'm just going to let her cook.
Yeah.
I'll critique it afterwards. In my mind, I ain't going to say, "Oh, you did this wrong," or "Oh, you did this wrong," so like that. But automatically you're going to say, "How does she's going to be, how does it taste?" And you're going to be like, "It tasted great."
So you're going to lie.
That's what you do when you love somebody. You lie, and then later on in life you tell them.
God. Well,
when it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, like, people lie, but eventually, yeah, you should tell them.
I mean, in the future, you tell her, you both be on your deathbed and be like, by the way, that steak you cooked, it was fucking disgusting. At the end, when it doesn't matter anymore. But at the time when they were trying their hardest, the last thing a person wants to hear when they're trying their hardest to impress you or to treat you good is to say, you made a mistake.
That's...
even on food.
Okay,
you could have made this food a little different. You could have done this better. And all that kind of stuff. Later on, when y'all were cooking together in the future,
yeah, and
y'all were cooking, then you'd be like, this is how I did it. This is how I got it to taste pretty good. And you try it yourself, and then if she liked it better than how she fixed it, she's going to start copying you.
Do you think that there is any point that you should lie to a girl?
Any point to lie to a girl?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Like,
you should never lie to a girl, even if it's going to break her heart.
Yeah.
If it comes to cheating,
yeah,
anything like that. I bought this car. You don't want to say, I got this car given to me, because when she checks bank account, the money's not there no more.
Yeah.
She's going, no. But at the same time, when it comes to if they're doing something for you,
yeah,
they could have baked you a cake, and they try to make a chocolate cake from scratch using cocoa and everything like that. And next thing, it might taste horrible. They barely put enough sugar in it, all that kind of stuff. But you don't tell them this cake is disgusting. You never say that. You could be like, this tastes great, honey. Thank you. And all that, because you do that, and then later on, you can say, "Hey, you know chocolate cake you baked? Can I show you how I did it? How I got taught to do it." And then you do that, and then when you're doing it, you're not saying the cake you fixed was disgusting. You'd be like, you fixed that cake for me. Now I want to fix my cake for you.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and all of a sudden, if she likes it, ooh, this tastes better than mine. She's gonna look at what you did and start copying you. And then she's going to try to one-up you on making that cake by looking at recipes, and before you know it, she's a 5-star chef at making a cake. Or baker, whatever.
I love how whenever I asked you about lying to a girl, your
Food's great.
It was still about food.
Food is amazing.
I meant, well, in my opinion,
Again, to a point about it, technically, like just the fact you don't lie to a girl when it's something serious. When if they're doing something nice for you, you lie.
but we're all guilty of it.
Yes. If
Sadly.
anybody ever says they have never lied in their life, then they're lying
Yes.
about that.
And it's just a matter if you've learned from those mistakes. And like you're human. Everyone's going to make a mistake no matter who you are. You cannot look at me and tell me that you've never messed up. And if you say, then you are obviously lying, and you know you're lying, and you probably think that they know that you're lying, but you still don't want to admit it because it's
When you admit that you made a mistake, you feel weakened. You feel weak.
Yes. And at that point, whenever you do lie to someone, you think that you're doing them a favor by not telling them because you know it was like a mistake or wrong. Because like there was a quote from a movie that I heard and it made sense. Sometimes it's easier to deliver a harmless lie than to deliver a painful truth. It's basically you're just trying to make it easier for them. In reality, you're hurting them more by not being honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, because one lie leads to another lie.
Correct.
Because you get to lie about this to cover
You're
up
gonna
that
push your
lie.
luck.
And then eventually you're going to have to keep lying. And then next year they're going to know that you're lying about something. Well, this don't add up with this, and this don't add up with this. Then they're going to ask you, hey, what part are you lying about? And next thing you know, you just told them 1,000 lies. And it's going to hurt them worse than if you told them the truth in the first place, because you will earn more respect from anybody if you tell them the truth.
Correct.
You'd be like, hey, I messed up. Nobody can fault you for saying, hey, I messed up. Depending on what it is, you can go to jail. I mean, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
No matter what, you can still get in trouble. But if it's a harmless lie, it's never harmless. Somebody gets
Hurt
in the end.
if it's either you or them.
Sometimes both.
Yeah, sometimes both. And you can't really feel sorry for yourself. You can just learn and move on from it and do better next time.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can do.
That's life. Learning from mistakes.
No one ever said that life wasn't going to suck.
Cause you had 18 years of a free trial. After that free trial's over with, it's pay to play for everything.
Yes.
You pay for your mistakes, and you learn from them, so you don't have to pay for those mistakes again in the future.
But it's also a lot difficult, especially for our generation, because we're young, we overthink everything, every little thing. Well, most of our generation does. Like our whole friend group is automatically overthinkers, like you, me, Jesse, and so on and so forth. And whenever I talk to someone that's like in their 40s or something about young people, they automatically know that our generation overthinks in everything. And it's probably either, I wouldn't necessarily blame it on the parents, because in a way I blame it on social media, because it's so much of our life.
The thing that y'all probably listen to this on right now, a phone, that's what does it.
Correct.
Because everybody's nose is stuck in a phone.
Yes.
Our generation more than ever can't go 5 minutes without having something listening to or something like that, because our generation's silence makes us overthink things more. We always have to have our mind occupied.
Correct.
We can never sit with our own mind.
If it's not with YouTube, but Snapchat, Facebook.
I have YouTube playing in the background whenever I go to bed.
Because you want to hear something.
Yes. Because silence makes your mind go crazy.
I can
and your
see
mind
that.
your mind literally starts talking to you.
Yes.
Which is usually for the best.
Yeah, but it also keeps you from sleeping.
Yes.
Probably the time that you need to think about it is like during the day, but you try to keep your mind busy throughout the day so you don't. You keep trying.
You run from it.
Yes, you're avoiding the issue, and you can't always do that. You have to own up to your what you're thinking, and you need to do something about it, or it's just going to eat you alive.
Mm-hmm.
No matter with what it is.
And that's where mental breakdowns happen.
Correct. I feel like anxiety is a lot more mainstream with our generation than what it used to be, because
depression,
yes,
all that. Which there's a lot of people that think depression's cute.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that like girls and stuff say they're depressed, all that kind of stuff to get attention, or guys be like. Because that girl's sexy or something like that. She's got, she's depressed. She's like all this stuff. Like that's what they fantasize about. When in all reality, depression is a serious issue. Like that's something that our generation is more than ever depressed. Because we grew up in a world we didn't know what hard work was.
No.
The generation before us, generation before that, they worked and built everything they had.
Correct.
And then look how school was taught back then. Look how everything was. We didn't have all these rules and safety guidelines and, to not get hurt and not get in trouble. They didn't have that. That's why they learned the hard way. And then we have all these, we get cuddled into a thing saying, don't do this, you'll get in trouble. Don't do that, you'll get in trouble. Don't do that. People won't like that. Don't do this. People look down on you for this. And, they mold you and become just one thing to move forward. And when that happens, we all of a sudden come out of high school thinking, we can conquer this world. Mm-hmm. And we look out, and all of a sudden, it's a war zone out there because all the other generations are like, oh, hard work. You need to do this, hard work. You can make a good life if you just work hard and everything like that. You need to put in 80 hours at your job. No sleep.
Yeah.
You got to get it done. Suffer through it. Make a life. But when we got taught and parents told us, you can do anything you want to do. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there's things you can't do. Mm-hmm. Mental capabilities, physical capabilities, all that. You can do just about anything you want if you put your mind to it, but there are certain things that you are physically or mentally not able to do.
And you can't help that. You just got to find something else.
And the thing is, when that happens, and all of a sudden your parents or other people in your life told you to do anything you want to do, and all of a sudden you hit that brick wall. When you hit a brick wall, it hurts. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, you have to learn to either cope with it and find something to better your life, or stay at that brick wall. And once you're at that brick wall, you're just going to stand there and look at it and just be like, that hurt. And you're just going to stand there and sulk and cry about hitting that brick wall.
Feel sorry for yourself.
Which is what more or less people do nowadays. It feels sorry for them saying, well, this ain't right that I got put in this situation compared to this person who got to do all this stuff.
Yeah, but no one said that. Yeah, in a way you make a good point, especially like with how school is. They basically, they form you to think like one person, mm-hmm. one exact person, but they always ignore the fact that everyone is different, and we can't be treated as one. This is not a video game. It's not something you can just pick and choose for the other person. Because everyone thinks differently, everyone acts differently. That's why there's good people and bad people and not just people.
Why do you think that most kids, like, elementary school kids and everything like that, why do you think they get in trouble the most?
Why do I think they get in trouble the most?
Yes. They get disciplined the most.
Because you're young. And I don't really...
you're young.
Yeah.
You're right. You're young. You have tons of energy.
And you're going to do a lot of stupid shit.
Not just that, you don't want to just sit in a class looking at a board. And what happens? They train you to become docile.
Yes.
Not express yourself or anything like that. And you're 7, 8 years old, and you're inside. You're just shaking like a ticking time bomb because you have a lot of energy. And then when that happens, they're like, you get 30 minutes to try to take that off, but after that, I need you to sit down and be quiet. I'm teaching you stuff that you don't even have to know right now. I'm teaching you Pythagorean theorem. Teaching a third grader that, when already they shouldn't even be knowing anything like that. They should be getting taught other things, how to achieve stuff.
Yes.
Not just sitting there learning all this other stuff that 90% of the people, I won't say 90, 80, 75% of the people in this world is not going to even learn, or not relearn, but use in their daily life. There's multiplication, adding,
You'll never
English.
use algebra.
Yeah, all that. Most people won't unless you go into a certain field.
Yeah.
But they're you get put there in this sort of thing, and then when those kids get home, the parents had to work their butt off trying to provide for them. And when they try to provide for them, what happens? They're already tired from work, so they don't want to deal with the kids.
Yeah.
They just feed them, let them get on their phone, where the phones come into play.
Mm-hmm.
They get on the phone. Shut up! I don't want to deal with you.
Okay.
I'm tired. Let me sit back, watch my TV show, give me some alcohol, or, I'm going to go take a shower or whatever and go to bed. You better be in bed by 9 p.m.
And, of course, every household is different.
Yeah, every household is different, yeah, and everything. And usually if you look at it, parents take time with their kids every day after school, stuff like that, which not everybody can be that lucky.
Yeah.
Certain parents, single parents, trying to take care of kids
all the time.
that work 2 or 3 jobs trying to support for their family, make sure their kids don't have to do the same thing they had to go through. But this, when it comes down to it, with all of that stuff, it affects the kid.
Yes.
And kids are going to act out badly and everything whenever it comes down to the fact that they don't get no attention from their parents because their parents are working.
Mm-hmm.
Not really their parents' fault because their parents are tired. But the schools don't teach them everything they need to know.
Because the schools haven't changed in 100 years. It's the same exact thing.
And it shouldn't be like that.
Because how everything evolved, that didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what needed to evolve, because if you're teaching the students something that they'll never use, they're going to be like mindless dummies unless they go to college. Because college, you learn your field, what you're doing for your career. That's why I think, in a way, school should, for instance, like high school, high school should mainly be about learning a field that you are interested in the future. Also,
like a basic overall, like English, math, just basic stuff. And then if you're doing engineering,
yes,
you take things based on engineering,
like shop and all that.
Yeah, but if you want to be a history teacher or history professor or something like that, then you should go down the history route.
Yeah,
and all that's separate.
Yes.
So I get what you're saying. That's just a basic layout of everything that everybody should know. And then in high school, because you think about it, you do all these things, and when you're young, your mind changes 24/7.
Yes.
So you go to college, you take all these courses, and now you're $100,000 in debt.
Mm-hmm.
And you turn and find out, I don't want to do that. Who thought I wanted to go out here and, be in a medical field dealing with all kinds of gory things sometimes, being a nurse or a doctor, when in reality, I don't want to do that. I want to build houses.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you just all in debt and all this stuff. So now, guess what? You have to stay in that job until you can pay off your debts. And then by the time you pay off all your debts,
it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah, you can go to college when you're an older person.
Yeah.
But you're so mentally tired. Why do you want to go through all that again just to get change?
Yeah, it's just more lines that you learn to live with it.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what everybody learns to do over time. Oh, this is my life. I'm just going to live with it.
In a way, that's kind of like what some parents do, is like a life that they wanted to do, they kind of push it in a way for their child, because I never got like, for instance, if I never got to that, they want you to live on through them so they can experience it, and it's in a way if you feel like you did it also.
Yeah, and I think like once you have a kid, personally, doesn't mean your life stops, but I think
Changes.
it changes. It should be no longer about you. I personally think it should be about your kid,
Yeah.
which I don't have kids, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say I know, but I just think from just a perspective, whatever it is, if my life, if I'm not happy with my job, I'm not just quit my job because I don't like it now. Just if you have a kid, you do stuff like that when you're young. That's the point of being young, is making mistakes and fixing them. Goes back to all that. But once you have a kid, you're no longer young anymore. You can't make as many mistakes in life as you could when you don't have kids.
But there's some people that never actually grow up and end up staying in that phase, and that's why, like, for instance, like, some people are in jail, and unless, like, different situations is a reason why you go there, but the fact is you're there for a reason. You did something wrong that you shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like, for instance, like, I was fortunate to grow up in a household where I never really had to worry about anything. My parents was always there, and I know, like, me and you have lived different lives. That's one thing I've always told people, like, you've had a horrible life, but you've came out of it and a lot better than you probably even think you did.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I didn't want to be like my parent. I seen what it does, and I didn't want to do the exact same thing that they did, because I seen where it got my parent.
Yeah.
Which I only had one parent. I only had a mother. Did the best she could for having 3 kids,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, she could have done things a lot differently. But did I die?
No.
No. Did I worry about food and stuff like that sometimes whenever I was younger? Yes. I had to start working when I was 15. But at the same time, because of that, me working at 15, I'm not out here being a bum.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm off of work, I wish I was at work. When I'm at work, I wish I was off work. But
it's always going to be like that.
But it's one of those things where now, I hate even calling out of work because I feel guilty. Like, I should be working right now.
Mm-hmm.
I should be at work. It's like my body's accustomed to being at work.
Do you feel guilty on the fact that you're guilty for yourself or the people you work with, that they are having to work more?
Both.
Okay.
Like, I could still be there helping them, so make their job easier, because I don't like it when somebody doesn't show up to work and have to do their job too. But at the same time, I feel good to myself, like, I don't feel good. I don't want to be at work. Well, but at the same time, I'm not dead, am I? No, I could be at work right now. Because I don't want to end up losing, what I have gotten in life. There's a lot of people that are willing to throw it away like it's nothing.
Because they don't care.
But yeah, because they don't care. The thing about, with me, from not having, I didn't have, the latest phone or the latest car, all that kind of stuff. Like, you go, in high school, they have all these, everybody has nice phones, iPhones, all that kind of stuff. And you're like, wow, that'd be awesome to have. Didn't have it. So now, everything I have, I've worked for.
Mm-hmm.
You
feel like it's earned.
Yeah, I've earned it because I didn't get my iPhone 12 just by sitting there twiddling my thumbs.
It's hard work and dedication.
Yeah, I had to find a way to get money and get it started and get things done. But a lot of people, that's why I think that everybody, people should go through that.
Yeah, with these parents that go out and
buy kids everything they want.
Yeah, like buy them like a $30,000 or more car.
I tell you this, my kid is going to be getting an old, beat up Honda. One, they last a long time. Hondas last a while. 2, Teach them. Oh, you want a better car? You want that fancy truck? You want that brand new Honda, or you want that brand new Nissan, or you want a brand new Mustang? Guess what? Better start working.
So whenever you say they're gonna get like a piece of shit Honda,
I'm not gonna say something that's embarrassing where it's going coming to the parking lot, but
something that gets them to.
It's gonna be reliable. Ain't gonna be looking fancy. It's gonna be something reliable.
Yeah.
So they all of a sudden ain't breaking down on them every 5 minutes, and they have to spend a lot of money doing that. It's gonna be something reliable, but I'm gonna teach them.
It's not gonna be like a brand new Mustang or a brand new.
Well, I don't want to give my kid a brand new car when kids have accidents. Give them a crappy old vehicle, reliable vehicle, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to look the best.
I mean, there's a lot of
wreck.
cheap vehicles that look good.
Yeah, I mean, you can find cheap vehicles, but most kids nowadays want the best.
Yeah.
Best, newest thing. You want that? Guess what? You're working for it. I'm giving you the basic things. I will help you pay for your gas. But then at a certain point, I'm cutting you off from paying for your gas. Be like, I'm going to make sure you get fed. I'm going to make sure you don't die on me.
Yeah.
That's child abuse. But at the same time, I'm going to make sure you learn. I'm going to give you a flip phone.
What was your first car?
Honda.
What year?
97.
97.
Yeah. All rusted.
It wasn't.
You helped me because you was the one who helped me. We took that foam stuff.
Spray foam or.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid. Well, I've seen people do it, but
because you can paint it and stuff.
The reason why we didn't do it right is because for one thing, whenever I was spraying that spray foam inside the rust holes, I didn't cover it up with anything else. You're supposed to put like fiberglass, Bondo stuff on it, and then you paint it and stuff like that. We basically just shaved it off and left it bare, then painted that. And for one thing, the rust still continued to go.
Yeah, but it worked. It was cheap on gas. Mm-hmm. It got me from point A to point B. It worked 100%. But I learned. Now I have a good car.
Yeah.
So practically almost brand new.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2015. It ain't the best vehicle out there. It ain't the newest. But guess what? It was practically brand new. It got at 20,000 miles.
Yeah.
And I did that with my own money. I didn't have no cosigner or anything like that. I didn't have somebody paying half of the vehicle for me or anything like that. I paid the high interest, 24% at one point.
That was 20.
No, it was either 20 or 24, something like that. It was high. It was high, and I finally got it down.
Yeah, I remember.
At my actual bank.
But they screwed you, but
they did.
But you got it down, and that's what matters. It's once again, it goes back to the whole learning experience.
Mm-hmm. Like if I know what I know now, back then, things being completely different. With I'd be acting different. Everything would be different.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone listening in. If you have any suggestions and have any problem with how we did stuff, just feel free to give us the feedback.
And just let you know. But if you listen to this, Bigfoot, he believes in you. You should believe in him too. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Hope you have a good day.
Bye.